You tweet a lot.
I use my tweets to express myself. Some people use their hair. I use Twitter.
Well, but you use your tweeting to kind of get back at critics.
Rarely.
Elon Musk also posted on X where he said that he fully endorses the former president and was hoping for his speedy recovery. In yet another post, Musk also compared Donald Trump to Theodore Roosevelt, calling the former president, and I'm quoting here, strong candidate.
We are not going to run away from this Trump shooting incident anytime soon, are we? U.S. billionaire and celebrity entrepreneur Elon Musk has accused the Secret Service of being unable to ensure former Donald Trump's security. The head of the Secret Service and the leader of this security detail should resign, he wrote on X.
Noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle.
Trump himself said that the United States Secret Service had done a fantastic job, having instantly wiped out the suspected shooter. An assassination attempt on Trump took place at a pre-election rally in Pennsylvania on July 13th. The former president was wounded, but his life was not in danger. The bullet tore off a small piece of his ear. One of his supporters was killed in the shooting. The attacker was killed by the Secret Service.
Oh, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
The billionaire CEO of Tesla publicly endorsed Donald Trump for the first time in the presidential race, calling the Republican former president tough. Musk, the world's richest person, posted the endorsement with a video of Trump with blood on his face, pumping his fist after multiple shots rang out at Trump's rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday. Trump was safe. The posts cement Musk's shift towards right-wing politics and hand Trump a high-profile backer in his quest to return to the White House in the November 5th election. I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery, Musk posted on his social media platform X. The martyr lived, he wrote in a later post, citing a reported debate between conservative venture capitalist Peter Thiel and LinkedIn co-founder and Democratic megadonor Reid Hoffman. Musk later posted a photograph of Trump at the event, followed by the following. The last time America had a candidate this tough was Theodore Roosevelt. Bloomberg reported on Friday, citing sources, that the billionaire, who has been ramping up criticism of U.S. President Joe Biden, has donated to a political group working to elect Trump. The South African-born businessman's sway stands to benefit Trump, since Musk has one of the largest footprints on X with 189.5 million followers, meaning his posts can instantaneously spread widely. The businessman has said he previously voted for Democratic presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. However, in the last few years, Musk has espoused right-wing views, becoming a fierce critic of diversity initiatives and Biden's immigration policies, and complaining that Democrats had given a very cold shoulder to Tesla and his rocket company SpaceX. In March, Trump, who is expected to be formally nominated in a few days as the Republican Party's candidate for the November 5th election, reportedly met with Musk and other wealthy donors.
Tesla's now worth more than GM and Ford. Do you have comments on Elon Musk?
Well, you have to give him credit. I spoke to him very recently, and he's also doing the rockets. He likes rockets, and he does good at rockets, too, by the way.
In response to reports of the meeting, Musk posted on X, "Just to be super clear, I am not donating money to either candidate for U.S. president." In May, he also denied media reports that there had been talks over a potential advisory role for him in any Trump presidency. In July 2022, the billionaire said Trump was too old to be president of the United States, and Trump needed to sail into the sunset. Musk also said he was leaning towards supporting Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for president in 2024. Trump hit back, calling Musk a bull *****T artist. Then, in late 2022, Twitter reversed its ban on former President Trump shortly after Musk completed his $44 billion purchase of the controversial social media platform, which he later renamed X. Last month, Trump said he was a fan of Elon, adding he does an incredible job with Tesla. The businessman said at a recent Tesla shareholder meeting that the two men had some conversations. Trump is a huge fan of Tesla's electric pickup trucks, Musk said. The Republican presidential aspirant has reiterated his pledge to immediately abandon the Biden administration's mandate to support the electric vehicle industry. Musk's support for Republicans and his anti-Semitic and other controversial comments have alienated some Tesla customers, weighing on the carmaker's reputation and sales. Following Musk's public endorsement of Trump, President Joe Biden's supporters now believe the two billionaires are working together to secure sympathy votes in the upcoming elections. A chorus of right-leaning tech and business leaders, led by the ex-owner, used their online megaphones in the wake of Saturday's attack to criticize the Secret Service's diversity initiatives, condemn Democratic donor Reid Hoffman, and make unsubstantiated allegations about the shooting. The claims by influential business leaders with large online followings helped influence the direction of the platform itself, as well as the storylines viewed by millions of people. Musk's post endorsing Trump after the shooting received the most engagement of any post on X related to the attempted assassination, said Graham Brookie, the Atlantic Council's vice president for technology programs and strategy. The post received more than 118 million views and 332,000 retweets, surpassing a post from Barack Obama that said there was no place for violence in democracy. By Saturday night, the terms deep state and Antifa were among the top trending topics across X, formerly known as Twitter. Brookie said the political moment marked a return to primacy for X, a platform that saw an exodus of left-leaning users after Musk acquired the service. X, meanwhile, reveled in the attention it had received in the hours after the shooting, posting the words "Global Town Square." Musk took to X to formally endorse former President Donald Trump's candidacy after the shooting Saturday, as did billionaire hedge fund owner Bill Ackman, a longtime supporter of Democratic candidates who have been critical of President Biden. Members of Musk's inner circle, including venture capitalists David Sachs and Sean Maguire, have thrown their weight behind Trump in recent months, but Musk appeared to hold out. Like Ackman, he supported Biden in 2020, and the shift from both men underscores how significantly the political landscape in business and tech has transformed in just a few short years.
I said, look, it's a great thing that we have a businessman as president. And in my lifetime, it's really the first businessman, as opposed to, maybe Bush to some degree was a business person.
Turning to a familiar refrain, Musk pointed the finger at the security breach in diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, amplifying a post that ridiculed the U.S. Secret Service's director for what it called diversity hires. The argument is being made on many right-wing political accounts, which have also called out individual female Secret Service agents. Musk had previously directed that argument at the airline industry, drawing condemnation over the insinuation that diversity efforts left the skies less safe, news outlets reported. It will take an airplane crashing and killing hundreds of people for them to change this crazy policy of die, Musk wrote, in what appeared to be a deliberate misspelling. The Tesla billionaire, along with Sachs, an investor friend, podcast host, and Trump supporter, used the platform to vilify influential Democrat and fellow Silicon Valley titan Reid Hoffman. Musk taunted Hoffman, referencing a spat that took place earlier in the week between Hoffman and billionaire investor Peter Thiel at the Allen & Company conference in Sun Valley, Idaho.
Would have liked to see a race between Trump and Sanders, because I think both of them viscerally felt the decline, and viscerally they very much disagreed about what caused it, what to do about it, but that would have been a very different sort of debate.
While on stage at the conference, Hoffman reportedly criticized Thiel for his support of Trump in previous elections. According to the outlet Puck, Thiel sarcastically thanked Hoffman for funding lawsuits against Trump because they had turned him into a martyr, increasing his re-election odds. Hoffman then retorted, "Yeah, I wish I had made him an actual martyr." The Reid Hoffmans of the world got their dearest wish, but then the martyr lived, Musk wrote on Saturday in a post that garnered around 24 million views. Sachs, the All In podcast host who endorsed Trump earlier this year after supporting several rival candidates, recently held a fundraiser for the Republican candidate in San Francisco. Musk, however, did not attend. Sachs also took Hoffman to task for his martyr comment.
I think there's no comparison between the cognitive abilities of these two men. I mean, I think what we saw last night at our fundraiser for President Trump is that he was very sharp, very on the ball. He stayed for something like 4 hours. He talked to everybody, talked to the whole crowd. Everyone loved him.
Hoffman, in a statement posted to X on Sunday, condemned political violence and said his words had been taken out of context. The businessman said he told Thiel he wished that Trump would martyr himself, meaning let himself be held accountable, for his assaults on and lies about women. Of course, I meant nothing about any sort of physical harm or violence, which I categorically deplore, he clarified. The post garnered around 1 million views by Sunday afternoon, a fraction of the reach of Musk's original claim. Musk, who has been encouraged by his inner circle to endorse Trump but had wavered until recent days, is the most followed person on his platform, with about 190 million followers. But even as Twitter has emerged as a powerful destination for people seeking information and perspectives during a confusing political moment, changes to the platform since Musk's takeover have made it more challenging to find accurate information. Users can now pay for blue checkmarks, which were once a badge reserved to identify public figures and journalists, making it more difficult to discern the source of claims on the platform. The word staged and other topics related to conspiracy theories also trended. Information experts say that X is now a much more polluted information environment. In a post viewed by nearly 70 million users, Musk described the Secret Service's actions as incompetence or it was deliberate, and called on agency leaders to resign. After Ackman issued his endorsement, Musk reposted his message, as did Maguire, a venture capitalist with Sequoia Capital and Musk's friend. Maguire praised people that are willing to change their minds as new data comes in. Maguire later posted, without providing evidence, that the shooter will almost certainly be discovered to be a member of the left-wing group Antifa. Authorities identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Voter status records showed he was registered as a Republican, the Washington Post has reported. On X, right-leaning venture capitalists and entrepreneurs posted that the mood has decidedly shifted toward the former president. Some said that Saturday's attack would give broader permission in liberal Silicon Valley for people on the fence to openly support Trump. People just casually walking around San Francisco with Trump hats, wrote an executive. Something has changed. Yes, Musk replied. The image of a bloodied and defiant Donald Trump pumping his fist at a crowd in Pennsylvania, his lips appearing to form the word fight against the backdrop of an American flag under a blaring sun, will instantly enter the history books as one of those era-defining moments. The assassination attempt on the former U.S. president at a rally this past weekend upends an already volatile and unpredictable campaign, punctured by charged rhetoric and radicalized views. It also appears to irrevocably alter the political landscape in Trump's favor ahead of the November elections. Not only did he survive the shot that grazed his ear and is now recovering in his New Jersey golf course, but the narrative he has shaped over the years about how everyone was out to get him suddenly appeared validated when, minutes into his stump speech, a shooter opened fire on the 78-year-old Republican presidential candidate. For his legions of MAGA devotees, this makes him even more of a martyr to the cause. Trump is the ultimate survivor. One of his GOP acolytes called him unstoppable. His campaign quickly sent out a fundraising text message quoting Trump saying, "I will never surrender." The Democrats, meanwhile, are in disarray as President Joe Biden, 81, stubbornly clings on even as doubts about his age and mental acuity have dogged him for weeks, with calls for him to step aside steadily growing. He's now been knocked off the front pages, but if anything, he's even less in control of events. And that is deeply worrying for Western democracies that look to the leader of the free world for a semblance of order and clarity. Instead, the rest of the world is also experiencing the polarization of politics and what can happen in a deeply divided society when the political discourse is riddled with exaggerations and lies that are then amplified via social media. From Asia to Europe and South America, the past few years have seen assassination attempts against a range of top political leaders in broad daylight. In May, Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico, a populist leader in the style of Trump, was shot 4 times at close range by a lone wolf. He survived and promptly seized upon the assassination attempt to ramp up his attacks on the media, prosecutors, and the opposition. If anything, it's become about retribution against his enemies.
Just moments after a gunman opened fire on Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico.
And as for all this could play out in the U.S., one has to only look back to 2018 for an eerie precedent with Brazil's Jair Bolsonaro, a political figure who is almost a cookie-cutter Latin American version of Trump. The far-right leader was stabbed in the stomach at a campaign rally a month before the elections. It was a defining moment that fired up his base and propelled him to power. In a post on X, Bolsonaro, a staunch Trump supporter, told him, "See you on Inauguration Day." From Abraham Lincoln to John F. Kennedy, the assassination of a sitting U.S. president has shaped U.S. history. Trump was not in power, nor was he greatly injured. Nevertheless, you'd have to go back 4 decades to find something comparable. That would have been when John Hinckley, fixated with Jodie Foster after seeing her in Taxi Driver, shot Ronald Reagan in his first term outside the Hilton Hotel in Washington. World leaders responded with shock, widely condemning political violence and wishing Trump a speedy recovery. The billionaire mogul may be a divisive figure, but the leaders in the group of 7, who would prefer him not restored to the Oval Office, were unequivocal in expressing their dismay on what it means and where it could lead. Germany's Olaf Scholz called the attack despicable, and France's Emmanuel Macron described it as a tragedy for democracies. This is the first assassination attempt on a U.S. presidential candidate unfolding in real time under the glare of social media. And seconds after Trump was escorted off stage, posts and clips went into overdrive, and so did disinformation with several unfounded claims about the event swirling on Elon Musk's X, along with Telegram and Gab. The Republican National Convention looms, which would be Trump's coronation as the formal Republican nominee. One can only imagine what the atmosphere at his campaigns will be, but the likes of Musk already see Trump occupying the White House. Will he reach the dreamland for the 2nd time? Only time will tell. And that's it from us today. Until next time, thank you for watching.